Hey, everybody. Welcome to Risky Business. We are the coverage queens. I'm Kathy Kaler.
And I'm Bliss Landon.
Welcome back. Welcome back to another fabulous episode. We're excited to have you. And I am so excited about my guest today. Our guest today.
Me too.
So fun.
Yeah.
Have you been?
I've been great. How about you?
I feel like it's a
I
month.
haven't talked to you in a little while.
I know, but it's only been 7 days. It seems like 7 months.
Right. Exactly.
So crazy. We have so much to talk about.
We do. We have
estate sales to talk about. A great article I found that we're going to discuss.
Yes.
Many
things, many topics.
Skin. We're talking about skin. I like how the camera is only showing the right side because the left side, literally a deep freeze zap from the dermo. I thought my cheek was going to explode. Remember I told you this thing has been here?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So we'll talk a little bit about
your glasses
that.
are hiding it, so you're fine.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
And a new fashion tip.
Right.
Anyway, well, let's introduce our guest.
Okay.
So today, you guys, we have the fabulous Meaghan B Murphy. She is the editor-in-chief of Women's Day. I have known her for a long time. We actually did a piece together. She was just reminding me back, let's just say a few years ago, with another fabulous actress. We were doing a piece on health and healthy foods and working out. But Meaghan, I have been watching for the last years, and her energy is insane. She is everywhere. She's got a podcast. She's on all different kinds of shows, Today Show and with Maria Menounos, and she has a fabulous new book.
Wow.
Your Fully Charged Life. I'm getting a copy. I will find her. I will get her to sign it.
I want one too.
But let's welcome Meaghan. Meaghan, welcome.
Yay!
Hi, Meaghan.
Thank you for having me. Yay!
Yes.
Your green chairs give me life. I just love your green chairs.
Thank you.
I'll tell
We're
you.
glad you like it. Colors make you happy, right? They really do.
Truth.
This
It's in
girl,
the extra charge of my book.
this girl
Awesome.
wears amazing colors. If you follow her on Instagram, the outfits are just, they brighten
Fully
my
charged.
day. They are fully charged.
I write about that in the book. I call it dopamine dressing. I think you need to dress the way you want to feel. And my life is a party, not a funeral.
Oh my God,
That
I
is
only wear
awesome.
black. You've just deadened me.
Oh, no. I mean, well, what could be the fun factor? Could you have a really great shoe or a statement
She does.
earring?
She always wears great shoes and great jewelry. So there's
So
that.
that's the key. You don't have to
Yeah.
be completely flashy, but I think the
Right.
point of dopamine dressing is to dress the way you want to feel. So even if you are in a full stuffy suit, maybe you have happy socks on, because there's that one happy maker that says to the world, yay, I'm here and life is good.
You know,
I love
it's so
it.
true. And that takes me back. Meaghan, you probably don't know this about me, but I worked for my father, and my father is my business partner with this business venture. And so I've been working for him for a really long time, and I've been his daughter for a really long time. But I remember, back in the day when we weren't such a casual society in business, I came in kind of casual, and he said, "Why are you dressed that way?" And I said, "Well, I'm comfortable." And he said, "Yeah, but you got to dress the part, man. You got to, if you want to be successful, you got to dress successful." He said, "I'm sorry, but my mood is different. When I dress a certain way, it changes everything about me. And I think you will experience the same thing." And that was a lesson he taught me a long time ago. And it's
Great.
really true.
Yeah.
There is something to be said about being comfortable, but then you also want to feel happy at how you look and your energy that you're portraying to other people, right?
I think a lot of people realized this during the pandemic. I mean, if you changed from pajamas to pajamas, or never wore anything that buttoned, or didn't take a shower, I mean, how did that change when you did shower, when you did put on a swipe of mascara, when you did blow out your hair, when you did wear pants that buttoned? Right. I know that I feel better when I do those things.
Exactly.
I carry myself differently. I enter the world differently.
Absolutely.
And I think it's important to really understand that what you wear does impact your mood.
I think so.
Incredible.
Absolutely. And kind of tells about your character and your personality and I don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It can also be an invitation for conversation.
Well, speaking
True.
of COVID, yes, we did experience and have people are still experiencing this dramatic shift in how we live our life. You have 3 kids who are, by the way, absolutely adorable.
Thank you.
But did you go through like most with the in-home schooling and how was that for you? I know I watched you. It just, at times was quite humorous, but share a little bit about that.
But as a businesswoman, you're so busy. How did you cope with all that?
In the beginning of the pandemic, it was really tough because I started the job as the editor-in-chief of Women's Day in last March, a year ago. Wow. And I mean, I hadn't really hired or met my team in person. I hadn't cleared out my good housekeeping office yet. So I was starting that new job from home. And I was also turning in my book. My book was due in April.
Oh, wow.
So it was this whole moment of, oh my gosh, I'm now homeschooling 3 children, finishing a book and starting a new job. It was very, very daunting.
Wow.
And meanwhile, too, like all my TV had come to the home base. So like we're doing the Today Show at my kitchen table with my husband filming, everything just became at Team Murphy Central. And like, I mean, all of my work was happening here and it was very surreal. Wow. I mean, there were certainly days where I was crying in the shower. But there were also days where I'm like, wow, and thank God I wrote this book because this is a toolkit to build resilience and find joy and remain optimistic even in the hardest of times. I mean, I used all of those strategies, especially when my whole family got COVID. I mean, my 3 kids, myself, my 71-year-old mom, we went through COVID.
So wow. You all got sick? You all got sick?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. 3 weeks before my book came out. So that was like really, really super fun. I was about to record my audiobook and the next thing I know, I have COVID and, my publisher is telling me we're going to have to hire a narrator and I'm just like crying because I have COVID and I just want to record my audiobook. Thankfully, we pushed the deadline to the very last second and I did get to record my own book. Thank goodness, because that was just so important to me. But I'm asthmatic. I have a history of pneumonia. I've been in the hospital for pneumonia before. So I was scared.
And how'd you do? Did you do
tough times?
I mean, obviously you're okay now, but was it really tough or?
Yeah, it was brutal. To be honest, it was brutal.
Yeah.
Tried very hard not to get COVID. I swear. The upside now is I have antibodies. And so I feel a little bit of relief, but it was hard because all of us were sick simultaneously. So I can barely get out of bed. I'm exhausted. And frankly, I had GI issues for 6 days where I lost 10 pounds. And yet I have to care for a 10-year-old, a 9-year-old, and a 7-year-old.
Wow.
Who have 103 fevers, who are projectile vomiting, that are fine, that are sick again. I mean, it was not, I don't want to sugarcoat it. Wear a damn mask, social distance, be smart. Because it's
not fun.
And we took all the precautions and we still got sick. And it was pretty brutal. I mean, it was no fun.
So glad you guys are okay.
I'm so grateful that I didn't wind up in the hospital and that, we did get through it. I have friends who lost parents. I mean, COVID is no joke.
Right.
But once again, I think that the silver lining of it and the timing of it was kind of great because it just reinforced that the tips and tricks and strategies that I outline in your Fully Charged Life work. And I was able to weather, a COVID times 6 with optimism and joy and resilience because I know how to do that. I have the skills. I have the toolkit.
Wow.
Amazing.
That's amazing.
Everybody needs to get your Fully Charged Life book.
I can't wait to read it.
Meaghan.
Yeah.
I think I should have gotten it last year though.
I know. Well, that's again, I keep saying, because like as an author, no one wants to release a book in a pandemic where I can't go on a book tour. I can't do in-person signings and everything is virtual. Stinks in that regard as the author. It's hard to sell books in a pandemic. But on the flip side, I think that this message is needed now more than ever. This advice is helpful now more than ever. It's all based in positive psychology and neuroscience. And it's really about, it's a training regimen. And Kathy, you'll appreciate this. I say the same way I trained my body to feel strong and fit and healthy. I trained my brain. I retrained my brain to prioritize positivity and to outthink bad days.
And I think a lot of people, of all ages are suffering still from depression from the pandemic and just being isolated and alone and, still seeing the repercussions from it. And, and as we're pivoting into opening up again, still there's some people that are stuck, in fear and at home and they don't know how to get back to their old lives. And so a book like that will be really helpful to, give you the tools to get in the mental state of mind that you need to be to move on with your life again, get back out there. Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. I mean, it's been fun now that it's out in the world to get feedback from people who say, oh my gosh, I tried that trick of changing my have tos to get tos, and oh my goodness, it works.
Wow, that's fantastic.
That's a simple way to trick yourself into practicing gratitude, because gratitude is the secret sauce in life. But if you don't have the bandwidth to keep a gratitude journal because that feels like homework, what if you simply change your have tos to get tos? And how does that change the way you approach things? Right, I don't have to work out. I get to. I mean, I was telling myself that after COVID, I get to work out today. I mean, I couldn't a week ago. I couldn't stand up a week ago, but now I get to work out.
Love it.
That's
Love
awesome.
that 3-letter word.
Get.
So, Meaghan, I was going to have Bliss tell a little bit about the business here, which is about educational devices that kids are using, that we're using a little bit before COVID, but now for sure during COVID. And with your 3,
so
share a little bit about the coverage.
So what we do is we provide coverage for the at-home learning devices that your kids are probably using every day for, the at-home school that they've had to pivot to. And so we're insuring those devices, against loss and damage, spilling their cereal on it or dropping it off the counter.
Or bringing it into the bathtub.
That would be covered. Yeah, that would be
I'm
covered.
going to tell you, the Chromebook couldn't be repaired after a bathtub incident.
Really?
So.
Okay, so tell us your experience with that. What happened?
Oh my goodness. Well, my daughter's 10 and she's become a bit of like a beauty girl. Like she loves bath bombs and like soaking in the tub. And it's like it's a source of relaxation and calm for her. And like, hey, listen, anything goes right now, right? Like
Absolutely.
If you want to take a 2-hour bath with, 900 bath bombs and that gives you some stress relief, great. Please just don't bring your stinking Chromebook, because
into the
she was like, we're taking her luxurious bath, and I mean, like she's 10 and it was like, she had like a little bit of lavender oil and like that. I mean, like it was like a candle, not lit, because she's not allowed to light a candle, but like the candle sitting there unlit and all the things, and had her Chromebook propped up onto the bathtub.
Oh my gosh.
And we're not sure how it got soaking wet, but we do know it got soaking wet and could not be repaired. So there's that.
So did you have to take it back to the school, or how did you do that?
So it was something we had purchased. So I'm very lucky right now. I did hack my life a little bit and I put my kids in an in-person Catholic school this year. So they are in-person school from 9 a.m. to 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. every day. We've had to obviously do home learning when we've had to quarantine, when we had COVID, and moments like that. And the school has done like, at-home learning days, et cetera, et cetera. It's not now as bad for us as it was at the end of like this time last year was impossible, because it was 3 kids, all of us learning how to virtually learn, et cetera.
Right.
So we have a little bit of a better scenario now because they are physically in a building.
That's good.
A chunk of the day. But I will say they're obviously using their devices more.
How much was it for you to buy a new Chromebook for her?
We didn't wind up going the Chromebook route again. We wound up getting a Microsoft Surface.
Okay. And how much did that cost?
I think it was like $800.
Yeah, they're
expensive.
It
was probably $800.
So on the Chromebook, had you spent $20 to insure it for the year, and for $20 you could have gotten a new one, that would have been a good deal, right?
I mean, yes. Well, it was also like the energy of like, we took it to one of those like fix any device stores and they were like, can't fix this. So it was like, drop it off.
Oh boy.
Pick it. Like the whole process. Like, so it was also wasted time, which was annoying to me because time is my most precious commodity, frankly. So
exactly. So we would have mailed you a box. You would have stuck it in the box and it would have gotten sent to our repair facility. We would have said it's a total loss and we would have covered it for you.
Yeah.
And we would have sent you a new one.
I think that's high value because, I mean, I think most parents are in the same boat as me too, where we're allowing more device usage than we ever would have pre-quarantine.
We have to.
Yeah.
So we
With the gaming, I mean, for me, with my boys, like that's social, right? Like if they're playing Fortnite and they're playing with their friends and they're on their headsets and it's like a play date, right?
It is. Yeah.
So I don't think a year, like pre-quarantine, pre-pandemic, I don't think I would have been like, yeah, go play Fortnite. But now I'm like, okay, it's like, social. Okay.
Right.
And like you need social interaction. So I'm in a different boat with technology, frankly.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we've all learned to accept more of it now. We have to, you know,
there's no choice.
Right.
Amazing. Well, we've been hearing different stories about just like your kids, you know, dropping it in a backpack, it gets run over, you know, all of these scenarios are throughout the country. And the thing that I've just learned kind of stepping in here, because I've, you know, as you know, I'm from the health background and fitness and you know, nutrition. I was so interested to connect here because I'm now looking at ways that we can be more healthy in our lives on kind of what we do. You know, how well are we organized in our closets? You know, our devices. There's so much about health connected with our devices. And, you know, so tying in here with Risky Business with my friend who's right here, having a good time, it really makes you want to step back and look at your life. What can I do better? What can I be more aware of, become more educated, and make those conscious changes? So that's what was so interesting about this, and learning that, you know, something right there, you experienced something that caused stress, what took time, cost money, but here's something that people don't know about, that they can get these devices insured, not the warranty, but insured, and make that transition from an accident, a damaged item, so easy, so seamless. So anyway, just thought I'd share my connection to this and why I was so interested.
I have a question, Meaghan. You know, for all the things that you're doing, are you doing something specific for kids too?
I mean, my kids are a big part of everything I do. So if I'm doing a celebration segment, for instance, like, you know, we did Backyard Fun on Live with Kelly and Ryan. My team Murphy were involved in part of the segment. If I'm doing last year, we did Easter for the Today Show, Mother's Day for the Today Show. Okay. Like they're often a part of my segments.
Yeah. Oh, that's so fun. I think that's great that you can, you know, have your children with you. I think that also has been part of this pandemic too, is, you know, busy working moms, you're incorporating your children more than you did before. And that's a positive thing, right?
Yeah. I mean, I talk about it. I talk about it in the book about treating your family like a team. And approaching life as a team and striving for synergy versus harmony, and certainly not balance, because there's no such thing as balance, but how can you create synergy where that the pieces of your life work together and understand each other and complement each other and support each other. And that's really, you know, it's been a whole new world. I now work from home. My husband now works from home. So I do a podcast from home. I write a magazine from home. I finished a book. I'm doing a virtual book tour from home. My husband is doing his banking job from home. I mean, it's like a whole new world. And when he's not doing, you know, working on his finance job, he's filming my Today Show segments. So, I mean, it's like,
but isn't that great though? I mean, don't you kind of like that though? I mean,
I mean, frankly, like we were having a conversation. I was having a conversation with my superiors yesterday about return to work and what that looks like. And, you know, I'm not super jazzed about commuting again. And hauling my butt into New York City. Like I'm, you know, now between Zoom calls, I throw in a load of laundry, or I go pick up the kids' vitamins, or I go get my zit popped, you know, I mean, I'm more efficient.
Why not?
And I love that. You know, that's much better. My life works better this way. I mean, I do sort of miss the camaraderie of the office and collaborating visually in you know, in person.
Yeah.
But the trade-offs are big, because what I gain in terms of family dinners and picking up the kids from school and being able to hear, you know, like so-and-so said this today and so-and-so said that. Like I love being on the front lines with my kids in a way that I wasn't before as a commuting working mom.
Right.
So
and
great.
as working mothers, we're always feeling guilty about not spending enough time with our kids. And, and like you said, you mentioned balance. There is no balance, even though you're striving for it all the time, but it's like impossible. But at least, through the pandemic, we've been able to spend some really good quality time with our kids.
Mm-hmm. And it's about appreciating that. I mean, balance is like a dirty word to me, right? Because balance suggests that two things could be equal at all times. My family and my job are never equal.
Right.
Sometimes my family is more important because my son needs to get his tonsils out. And sometimes work does take precedence and it tips the scales because I'm on crazy deadlines, right? So it's never equal. It's never equal. There's no such thing as balance.
You're right.
I also don't have any guilt though. I think guilt is a dirty word. I don't experience guilt.
It is. Well, okay. I mean, that's kudos to you.
We'll strive.
I know.
For that.
I'm going to strive to not feel that way because I have always felt that way because I've been working from day one. But I love your positive, outlook on everything. I mean, just every word, every thought, you're just a super positive, dynamic person.
But I'm not, that's sort of the beauty of the book though, is because I'm not inherently this way. My nickname was Grumpy as a child. My negativity bias is strong. I had some very tumultuous years and I was a pessimist, like a sullen, miserable, like,
really? I can't imagine. Yeah.
Yep.
I don't believe you.
No, and that's why you have to read the book because I trained to live this way. I mean, will. That's why when I was writing an article for Cosmo and I was the first sort of taste of positive psychology I got, where I absolutely for the first time realized that happiness was an active state of doing versus a passive state of being. And you can never be happy unless you learn to do happy. And what does that look like? What are those daily actions that we can all take to move the happiness needle? And once that started to click for me and I began to practice and prioritize positivity, my world changed. I changed the neuroplasticity of my brain. I changed the way I carry myself on this planet. And even when really crap things happened, like my dad getting diagnosed with pancreatic cancer and dying 5 months later, I was equipped. I had the tools to move through with resilience and grace. Wow. Doesn't mean it didn't hurt. Doesn't mean it didn't suck. But I knew how to forge onward because I now have the tools.
Wow. Right. That's amazing. Wow.
I heard somebody say that those who seek happiness aren't happy. It's even like in the Constitution, the pursuit of happiness. It's like when you just are happy, that you settle, you
decide.
Like I decide I'm happy. I'm fine. I'm not looking for it. Then you feel it.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the thing. And it's also once you realize when you sort of flip the switch and understand that happiness is a state of doing, that really truly means there's always something you can do to move the happiness needle. So if I'm not feeling happy right now, well, it's not like, oh, happiness is so elusive. It's like, oh, I need to do something that makes me happy right now. And maybe that something is making my bed because that small sense of accomplishment powers me. Or maybe it's putting fresh cut flowers in the house because I understand all that great Harvard research that says, wow, they ease anxiety. Fresh flowers are magic. Or maybe it means, oh my goodness, I'm not protecting my sleep. Maybe I need to go to bed earlier and get myself on a sleep routine. Oh my goodness, maybe it means I didn't move my body today. Right. And once you understand that there is always something you can do to move the happiness needle, it's no longer so elusive because happiness isn't like this thing out there that someday maybe you'll have, right? Like, no,
it's like you can do it right now.
Unless you start doing it. Exactly. It is absolutely a state of doing.
Wow. Amazing. That's so awesome.
Well, I tell you, we are happy that you were here today.
Absolutely.
Yay!
I love it so much. Meaghan, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being here. It's been such a pleasure to get to know you, and I can't wait to read your book and just wish you all the luck in the world with everything you're doing.
Where are people getting your book, girl?
So I always love to encourage people to shop local. So if you have a small hometown bookstore or a little bookstore that could potentially be struggling during quarantine, pop in there. If they don't have it, ask them to order it. Otherwise, Barnes & Noble, Amazon, all the big guys have it.
Okay.
But I'm like such a big fan of shopping local and supporting local and loving where you live.
Especially now. Yes.
And if you do get it on one of the big dogs, authors love a report card. So if you rate it and review it, that's a super big deal for authors. it really means a lot to me to hear feedback from people.
All right.
I love it. I love it. And follow her on Instagram. She's hilarious.
Okay.
My life is very fun filtered. I use a filter. It's a fun filter. We always have a good time.
I want a fun filter.
Yeah.
We have so much to do. Copy Meaghan.
I'm going to do that.
We're modeling after Meaghan.
Right.
All right. Listen, thank you so much. Have a great rest of your
You too,
fully
ladies.
charged day.
Yes.
What?
Thank you, Meaghan.
What?
All right.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
So great.
Oh my gosh, she's awesome.
Super fun.
I love her.
Right? Super,
Yes.
super
Yes.
fun.
Oh, so fun.
It's so, also, I was just thinking as she was talking, there's so much that was reminding myself of what I've done in my career. You know, she wrote an article for Cosmo. That was one of my very first things that I did
Oh, really?
when I was working for Jane Fonda. And then all of my years on the Today Show, one episode that I did, we were in the plaza and it was family fitness. And Walker, my youngest, was maybe toddling around at 2, but he could shoot a basket. So we had one of those play school plastic basketball things, and the twins were doing sit-ups and push-ups on a mat. And, you know, it was really I look at the same message. We're still talking about the same message. We're still trying to, find those ways to have better quality of life.
Right.
So
and be
anyway,
happy
it's so
and
cool.
be happy and just
So-
try to keep your happiness going when we've been through a real tragedy.
Yeah. I
So-
love what she's doing.
I love it too. I can't wait to read her
So
book.
proud of her and
Yeah.
inspired.
Awesome.
Anyway, well,
There's
lots to
another
do.
one down in the books.
Yes,
All right.
great episode. So I hope you
Yes.
guys enjoyed it, and I hope that you do go out and look for her book, Your Fully Charged Life by Meaghan Murphy. Like she said, you can go shop local or Barnes and Noble, and find her on
Amazon.
Instagram. So funny, and yes, Amazon too.
Yeah.
So thank you for joining us right here at Risky Business. Any questions or thoughts or just ideas that you want us to look for and talk about, we are at Risky Business at thecoveragequeens.com. Email us, and we'll see you on our next episode.
Thanks for watching.